Please stand as you are able. Graduates of 2022, administration, faculty, and staff of Holland Hall, parents, grandparents, and other family members, Board of Trustees, Bishop Polson. Before my opening prayer, please allow me to share with you this observation. When I go visit my grandchildren, before I can pick them up and fully enjoy their hugs and giggles, I must first put down my heavy luggage. So too, before we fully celebrate and rejoice in this exciting evening, which is good and proper to do, and we shall, let us first put down some baggage. Let us first observe a period of quiet reflection to express our care for and our solidarity with the people impacted by violence at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. May God comfort the brokenhearted. Thank you. Please join me in an attitude of thankfulness as I pray. Oh God, we give you thanks that you have now brought us to this joyful celebration that is both an ending and a hope-filled beginning for these young people. We ask your blessings on all who have helped them on the way to this celebration. Creator and lover of all, watch over these graduates as they leave this place. Shield their joy, and as their days increase, bless and guide them wherever they may be. Strengthen them when they stand, comfort them when discouraged or sorrowful, raise them up if they fall, and in their hearts may your peace which passes all understanding abide all the days of their life. This we ask in your holy name. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, Father Scrutchins. Good evening, and welcome to this, the end of Holland Hall's 100th year in service to the students of Tulsa and to our 99th commencement exercises for Holland Hall. Tonight, we celebrate this outstanding class of 2022. Class, tonight is all about you. But before we come to that point in the evening where we celebrate you individually and collectively, I think it's important for us to recognize many of the people who have helped to get you here tonight. First and foremost are you, the individuals in the audience. Your loving parents and close family and friends have sacrificed so much so you may live extraordinary lives. They have encouraged you toward the gift of having something that will never be taken away, the gift of an education that values a vibrant mind, a strong moral character, and a sound spirit. Please join me in thanking your families and close friends for all their love and support of you. And we, of course, also want to deeply thank our talented faculty and staff for their steadfast commitment to this class, for their untold hours they spent grading papers, meeting with you outside of class, designing lessons, challenging you to stay engaged, and to ensure that you are fully prepared for the leadership opportunities that await you in college and beyond. Faculty and staff, would you please rise and accept our gratitude for your work on behalf of these young men and these young women. Thank you. And we also want to thank our dedicated Board of Trustees, and especially our board chair, Mr. J.W. Kraft, who's here on stage tonight. He's the proud father of Jake, who will be in our 100th graduating class, Kingsley, Holland, Lackland, and Windsor. Mr. Kraft, we appreciate your leadership, especially these last 2 years amidst everything the school has seen. You've stood up for everything that Holland Hall stands for and have been an incredible supporter of all of us. We appreciate all your service to the board, knowing this is your last year to serve in this capacity, and we thank you deeply. Our board volunteer, yes. Our board volunteers countless hours behind the scenes in committee work and with myriad commitments, ensuring that the future of Holland Hall is secure for the many graduating classes to come. We ask that all current and past members of our board, along with our emeritus trustees, please rise as we thank you too for your service to our beloved school. Okay. 29% of the class of 2022 is comprised of lifers. These 25 members of our senior class entered Holland Hall in first grade or earlier. Lifers, as I call your name, please rise and remain standing. I do ask the audience that you hold your applause until all 25 names have been called. 20 of you began in preschool. Leo Tanaka Abafadal, Michaela Kiera Atkinson, Bridget Carrington Dieterlin, Kennedy Kate Gilbert, Holton Thomas Heldebrand, Hunter James Heldebrand, Benjamin Andrew Knobloch, Magnus Bollinger Lepak, Alice Elizabeth Milton, Ava Nicole O'Hara, Josephine Alessandra Ogle, Ashton Palmer Pohl, Kendall Elizabeth Riley, Robert Luke Sharp, Thomas Andrew Sharp, Tierney Lindy Shaw, Josephine Emma Julia Shingleton, Hunter Winston Zahn, Kennedy Paige Zahn, Taylor Diane Zahn. 3 of you began in kindergarten: Ashton Bagwell, Annika Gail Nielsen Bartlett, Milan Elise Fields, and 2 of you began in first grade: David Alukel Caribbean and Addison Jane Bailey Tennell. Please join me in congratulating their students and their families. You may now be seated. Legacies. We have 11 members of the class of 2022 who have parents or grandparents who are Holland Hall graduates. I'll say our legacy's name along with their parents and ask that both of you in the audience and on stage stand and remain standing. Again, please hold your applause until all the names have been read. Phoebe Jane Beckwith, her father Christopher Beckwith, Macy Lee Carroll, her mother Jennifer L. Carroll, and grandmother Laura A. Jones, Erin Rachel Dolan, mother Rachel Rhodes Dolan, Emily Grace Gardenhire, mother Karen C. Gardenhire, Caroline Ava Greer, her stepfather Robert Dunner, Leslie Catherine McCune, and her mother Jenny Barron Curtis, Ashton Palmer Pohl, his mother Heather Snoke Pohl, and father B.J. Pohl, Nathaniel Poston Sanders, father Mark Sanders, Connor Robert Tollefson, stepfather James A. Mills, Braxton Thomas Utter, father Jeff Utter, and Annabelle Sue White and her mother Jennifer Wisenhunt White. Please join me in congratulating these students and their families. You may be seated. And board members, this year there are 8 students who have parents or grandparents that are currently serving or have served on Holland Hall's Board of Trustees. I will say these individuals' names, and you know the drill. Caroline Ava Greer, her stepfather Robert Dunner. Benjamin Andrew Knobloch, his mother Courtney Knobloch. Drew Underwood Mabry, his father Scott Mabry. Alice Elizabeth Milton, her mother Lori Carver. Kendall Elizabeth Riley and her father Brett Riley, Robert Luke Sharp, father Tom Sharp, Thomas Andrew Sharp, whose father is also Tom Sharp, and Tierney Lindy Shaw and her grandfather, the late David Tipiconic. Please join me in congratulating these individuals. This year, there are 8 faculty members who have a child graduating. I'll say these individuals' names and ask them to stand and remain standing. Leo Tanaka Abufadal and his father Mazen Abufadil. Morgan Wesley Arnold and his father Paige Arnold. Ashton Bagwell, mother Shelley Bagwell. Phoebe Jane Beckwith, Mother Jane Beckwith, Holton Thomas Heldebrand, Father Steve Heldebrand, Hunter James Heldebrand, whose father is also Steve Heldebrand, Ashton Palmer Pohl, Mother Heather Pohl, Josephine Emma Julia Shingleton, Mother Carrie Shingleton, and Annabelle Sue White, Mother Jennifer White. Please join me in congratulating these students and their families. You may be seated. Thank you very much. And finally, listen to this. The members of the class of 2022 will matriculate at 46 different colleges and universities in 23 different states. More than 56% of this class has been offered merit or talent-based scholarships totaling over $7.5 million. Well done. Every year, the upper school faculty chooses a student to offer a reflection at our commencement exercises. This year, we are delighted to welcome to the stage, at their request, Mr. Hunt Heldebrand.
Good evening, everyone. I'd first like to start out by saying thank you to the faculty for selecting me as our speaker tonight. I'm very humbled and honored to be able to share with you all about the many great experiences I've been able to make with my fellow classmates and teachers over my time here. Holland Hall has a special place in my heart, and I hope that the words I share with you all tonight will help prove this. My time at Holland Hall started 16 years ago in 3-year-old preschool, at a time where I thought that me standing before you today would be an eternity. But in reality, that is not the case. It has all gone by very quickly, and people would always tell me that. But I always thought of that to be some cliche comment that my parents would say. I never did really realize how much of a blur life has been until the start of my junior year. People would finally start to ask me about what my plans for college would be. I honestly, at the time, couldn't answer that question. Because deep down, I wasn't wanting to think about it, because thinking about it meant that the end of my time here was coming to a close. I have known nothing but Holland Hall, and my way to deflect the fact that I would one day have to move on was to try and not deal with it. But fortunately, I've been able to make many amazing memories over my time here, with many of these memories being unique to our school, which is why I think part of the reason why I will miss Holland Hall so much is because of the uniqueness. Holland Hall is a school that is so different from others for so many reasons, and because of our school being smaller and being based on community, it has helped our grade to grow close together, making it that much harder to move on. I can genuinely say that I've been able to create a relationship with each and every one of my classmates, whether it's from being in a class or on a sports team, or just passing by each other in the halls. I've been able to build a relationship with each one of you, and that is something that most people at other schools can't say. And since we are all so close, it'll be weird not being with you all next year, especially the ones that I've been going to since the primary school. I literally have been with you all for almost every single day of my entire life, so I will miss seeing you all in the classes and in the halls next year. With that being said, let me take you back through some of the great memories we have created throughout our years here, starting in the primary school. If you're here in the primary school, you know how important and fun the many plays we performed were, like Caps for Sale in preschool, the Ocean Play and Reptile Play in first grade, and the Fairy Tale Tea in second grade. Then we had the greatest school year ever, which was junior kindergarten, with it being the class of having 10 boys and no girls. I'm not gonna lie, looking back at that year, I'm not sure how Miss Paniker and Miss Bibbins survived, or even how they allowed there to be a class with only boys in it. But it made for a fun and eventful year, to say the least. Then lastly, the best part of primary school, and I think everyone can agree with me on this, or at least the guys, is that we had 2 recesses every day. And all I could ever remember thinking about was how I would survive a school day with only 1 recess in the middle school. Then, I remember one night, I asked my dad, "Where's the high schoolers' playground?" And he responded with, "There isn't one. You don't get recess in high school." And that was probably some of the worst news I'd ever received in my life at that time. I was speechless. I had no idea how I'd be able to get through a school day without having time to go out and play with my friends. But as I got older, I realized that recess would be the last thing on my mind. Even though my 8-year-old self probably would not believe me on that, it's true. School would get better each year as there was always something new and exciting with each and every school year. And as bridge crossing came, it was time to venture over to the middle school. Middle school was a much different experience than the primary school, allowing us to have more responsibility and letting us be more on our own. Some of the best parts of middle school include finally getting to rotate classes every day, science club with Miss Vrooman, and the paper airplane competition in 4th grade. Then, in 5th grade, we had the ping pong ball launcher competition, going to BizTown, and finally getting your own red locker. 6th grade came along, and we had the balloon launch, getting to go to SUD, and starting to have class days that resembled a day more like high school, which meant having freedom in what language you were able to take and getting to have a different combination of kids in each class. And you can't forget about the Sac-Wa-Wanata track meet in 4th through 6th grade as well. Then, in 7th grade, we got to do downtown Tulsa studies, and we got to start playing school sports. Then lastly, 8th grade, we had the boat regatta, breakfast Fridays, and Shark Tank. All of these great moments are just a snippet of the experiences we made in the middle school. And I hope you can see that each grade has its special traditions that have helped us create memories that will last forever. But I also hope you see that as we got older, we were given new opportunities of freedom, which helped us to be prepared when we got to the upper school. Now, for high school, going from being the kings of the middle school all the way back to the bottom of the food chain. I learned very quickly that being a freshman is very intimidating and nerve-wracking, and I have 2 stories to prove this. The first was in geometry freshman year, and the goal of any year is to always get off on a good start in your classes, especially in high school, because now grades actually matter and colleges can see them. So when I got my first math test of the year, the 60% I got was not what I had in mind of getting off to a hot start. I went into complete panic, asking myself, how will I ever make it through high school? What will I do? My GPA is already ruined. And having to go home and tell my parents about the grade I received wasn't much fun either. But from this, I learned 2 things. The first was that I learned how at Holland Hall, you need to go deeper into the understanding of what you are learning. Not just trying to learn the basics, but really working to understand everything, so that whatever problem they shoot at you, you will be able to handle it. Secondly, I learned how important your advisor is in high school. After this horrible outing, I went and had a meeting with Mr. Bergenroth, and we were able to work through the appropriate plan so that I could bounce back from this, and to help me be as successful as possible for the remainder of high school. Yes, this was a very traumatic experience at the time, but thankfully I was able to get it all worked out and everything ended up being fine. But the most important takeaway was that this was a lesson that there would be challenges in high school. It is just about responding the right way to those challenges so that you can move on past them and be successful again. There would be highs and lows in high school, not just in the classroom, but learning to lean on others was how you would be able to solve your problems. So I hope this story can be a lesson for us as we move on down the road, because there will be many more challenges that come our way. My lesson to you is that it is about how you respond to the problem you are facing, and that will help you get through it. Coach Fred Utter sent me a letter one time regarding the ups and downs of life in high school. And the gist of his letter was saying that there are 2 ways you can respond to the challenges that you face. You can either quit and let the problem overtake you, or you can persevere through the problem and get back on track to reaching the goals that you have. And with how determined I know many of you in this class are, I know that when challenges come our way, we will use the latter of the 2 decisions and lean on the ones that are close to us, just like we have been taught at Holland Hall. When facing my problem, I wouldn't have been able to solve it without the amazing leadership and help of Mr. Bergenroth, and that is why I was able to go on and have success in the high school. My next traumatic experience that I can still vividly remember, and honestly still scares me a little to this day, was from the first class of Dr. Berglund's freshman English. And to give some background info, all I ever heard from people that had previously had him was how difficult he was. And they would tell me, good luck surviving his class. So I was already very worried going into this. And after the first 5 minutes, I was ready to find a new place for high school. So Dr. Berglund walks into class, doesn't say a word, just writes his name on the board, and then starts talking at 100 miles an hour, going over all this random information that left everyone in the class extremely scared, confused, and like I had previously said, wondering if it was too late to find a new place for high school. I remember trying to ask a question in the middle of his presentation, and as I raised my hand, he said, "No questions at this time," and went on with his business. After he finished, he explained to us that it was just a joke. Not a funny joke, by the way. And he said that the high school experience will be manageable, but to be successful, you must use your peers and your teachers as resources to help you navigate. It was a cruel way to teach us this lesson, but it was very valuable. It helped teach us that the teachers want us to succeed, and that in the high school, advocating for yourself, using your classmates as resources, and going to your teacher for guidance and help is the key to success. Then, moving on, in high school, we also got the greatest thing ever created, free mods. Free mods gave you the ability to do just about whatever you wanted. You could study, go get food, go work out, meet with a teacher, use your privileges, or simply go hang out with your friends in the commons. The way to survive high school was finding the perfect balance between all these things, knocking out your homework so you'd be free at night or caught up for the next day, and then using your other free time to relax in the commons and just enjoy time with your friends. Getting free mods is a privilege and is one of the most beneficial things that we have had to help prepare us for the future, as it has taught us how to manage time. Now, for another more memorable experience from freshman year, which was our annual trip to the Wichita Mountains for freshman orientation. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a trip that does not sound super enticing at the start. I mean, let's be honest. Being outside for 3 days in 90-degree weather, sleeping on a tarp, having to survive on the McDonald's that you ate at the halfway stop of the trip, because for some reason the bean chili that you make for dinner does not sound all that delicious, is the part of the trip that you have to ignore and accept. But freshman O is something that you have to experience for yourself to realize how awesome and beneficial it is to your success in the high school. It teaches you to get out of your comfort zone and to interact with people that you may not always be with. And it helps you to connect with a few upperclassmen as well, people who have been in your shoes and that will help guide you through the good and the bad of high school. And that is what makes it one of the most memorable and beneficial experiences. It helps remind you that Holland Hall is a place where to be as successful as possible, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have friends and teachers pushing you and helping you to be the best version of yourself, and in the end, that helps everyone improve and become better. I hope you all are seeing a theme with the stories I'm sharing. But then lastly, we have morning meetings, helping to bring the community together by celebrating others' successes, playing games, having dance competitions. Should ask Mr. Shin about that. Doing the teacher Oscars, hog calling, or one of Ike's videos. It is a great way to help get everyone involved, and I think our grade did a great job of making sure there was always something fun going on, and that everyone had the opportunity to be celebrated for the hard work they have done. High school is an amazing and unique experience, and I think that our class as a whole has really worked hard to excel in every area of the school. We have many scholars who work extremely hard every day in the classroom, creating a strong work ethic that will help them be prepared for the many bright years they have ahead of them. We have many athletes who have committed their time and effort to bringing success to their teams, and that has led to the many great accomplishments like state championships, and their legacy will be forever remembered. Then we have the many artists who have dedicated their efforts to creating fun and amusing plays and concerts, or have created unique pieces of arts that have been on display for everyone to see in the Holland Gallery. Then lastly, we have the many great leaders in our grade who have given up many hours of their time to serve the school to help create a fun atmosphere for everyone in the community. And the best thing about Holland Hall is that of the 4 things I just described, many people in our grade contribute and are part of more than one of these categories that I just mentioned, and they do it all at a very high level. Holland Hall has given us an opportunity to try new things, and we have taken full advantage of it. Anytime our grade has been tasked with something, whether it is in the classroom, in sports, in the arts, or in the community, we have done it all to the best of our ability. I think this is a great skill to have, and I hope that as we continue on in life, that each of you keep the mindset of giving it your all in everything that you do, as I think you will find that the reward or the final product of your hard work will be much more satisfying once you have completed your task by giving it 100%. And lastly, I think the reason why it's so difficult to leave Holland Hall is because of how invested we have been in this school. Whether we've been forced to or chosen to, we have all had to invest into something at this school and pour our time and heart into it. And when you invest into something as much as many of us in our grade have, it makes it very difficult to move on. Holland Hall is a very special place, and I know it will hold a special place in all our hearts for the rest of our lives. When I was thinking about writing this speech, I wanted to try and portray all the great things that Holland Hall has to offer, as well as share a few of the great memories we have created. As I was thinking to myself on what to write, I asked myself, what is the best thing about Holland Hall? And I thought about it for a while, and I finally realized what it was. It is the community and getting to create close relationships with everyone. I realized this after our freshman O trip that we had just gotten back from a few weeks ago. If you didn't know, the freshman O trip was moved to the spring this year. And before the trip, my life was feeling like a blur. I felt extremely busy with wrapping up my spring sport, finishing school on the right note, working on some of my finals, and preparing for my AP test. And honestly, before I left the trip, I was feeling even more stressed out as I would be gone for 3 days, and I felt like when I got home, I would be even more busy. But I honestly needed those 3 days to just be with my fellow freshman O leaders, teachers, and the freshmen. On this trip, I was able to take my relationships with many of the people there with me to a new level. There were many people that before I left on this trip, I just knew their name, or our only interaction was saying hi when we passed each other in the hall. And after this trip, I was able to turn those relationships into what I would hope to be an everlasting friendship. Then, when we were on our way home, a few of the freshmen were kind enough to remind me that I only had 3 more true school days left once I returned home. At first, I was mad that they were reminding me that everything I'd ever known was coming to a stop in just a very short 72 hours. But then, I was very thankful they said something, because without them, I think I would have gone on with my last few days, living it in fast motion, instead of taking time to slow down and cherish the little time I had left at the place that has been a part of my life since I was 3 years old. Thanks to them, I was able to spend my last few days with the people who have helped me create the most amazing experiences of my life. Holland Hall is a place of building a deep-rooted community, and I've learned that the more relationships you can take and the harder you work to make an impact on something, the more difficult it will be to move on from it. But tonight isn't about thinking of this as a sad moment. It's an exciting moment, a moment we have been waiting for, and thanks to Holland Hall, a moment we are more than prepared for. Tonight is about us, the class of 2022. It is about spending one more great night together as an entire grade, having one last night of creating memories that we will be able to cherish forever. Tonight is about reflecting on the past, enjoying the huge accomplishment of graduating from one of the most prestigious high schools in the world, and looking forward to moving on to our future, fully encapsulating the theme of this year's yearbook, then, now, and next. So with that being said, to the class of 2022, I wish you all the best of luck as we move on, and I will miss being with you all next year. I have made my best memories with you all, and I cannot wait to see all the great things that you all will achieve in life. Thank you for allowing me to speak and share some memories from our amazing time at Holland Hall, and I hope you all have had as great of a time with me as I have had with you. Thank you all, and go Dutch.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce to you our faculty speaker for this evening's ceremony, who is selected by the senior class. Neil Bergenroth is rounding the corner to his 20th year next year at Holland Hall. Officially, Neil is a chemistry teacher, a technology teacher, the department chair for technology, and the Pauline McFarland Walter Upper School Master Teacher Chair. Unofficially, he is the best teller of dad jokes, a crew coach and enthusiast, a maker of apps, and the most knowledgeable Star Wars buff around. Many of you may not know that in addition to all of his duties at Holland Hall, which are many, Mr. Bergenroth has been working with the Tulsa Public Schools system to bring Crew, Erging, and his health app to the public school students. Mr. Bergenroth is known by the students as a teacher with very high standards, who believes in them and is understanding of their challenges. He cheers them on and helps them out, but he never lowers the bar. And therefore, he is highly respected by students, parents, and faculty alike. For all of these reasons and more, it does not surprise any of us that the class of 2022 chose Mr. Bergenroth to be their faculty speaker this evening. Please join me in welcoming him to the podium as the speaker.
Good evening, Holland Hall. Oh, this is going to be fun. First, class of 2022, the graduating class of the year in which we celebrate 100 years of Holland Hall history. My thanks for this unique opportunity that you have presented me with. I must confess that I was very surprised when you picked me to be your graduation speaker. I know that Dr. Bloom and Mr. Carey were also in the running. However, I guess the vote went away from important intellectual statements full of meaning, dry humor, and deep analysis towards corny jokes and Star Wars quotes. So, you want a Jedi that can tell dad jokes. This evening, I would like to reflect on you all as a class and recount some experiences from my life journey so far. The advice and observations that I will share have helped me reframe and change my situation, and I hope they can also help you, regardless of where the road takes you next. Now, you know I like to make jokes in chemistry class, although they don't always get a good reaction. So I found some graduation dad jokes for you. What did the light bulb say to his son when he was receiving his diploma? You have a very bright future ahead of you. How do tall people graduate? At the top of their class. So when I think about where you all are in your journey and all the different emotions you must be feeling, I can't help but think back to the morning I woke up in London on the day that I was flying to the US to start my freshman career at Boston University. Boston was already an interesting choice for me, given the whole Tea Party incident. But I was hoping the Bostonians would let bygones be bygones. But probably the biggest thought in my mind was, oh no, what have I done? I have not thought this whole going to another country thing all the way through. Or as C-3PO would put it,
we're doomed.
And I suspect many of you will have various moments like that over the summer and perhaps well into next year. But that is completely normal when facing unknown and uncertain situations. And ultimately, I got on that plane. And then somehow, I end up here, giving a graduation speech at an Episcopal independent school in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. And that's why we're here tonight. You've made it this far, and you're about to get a piece of paper, your graduation diploma. My dad always told me that you were always working towards pieces of paper. High school diploma, college degree, graduate degrees, or technical qualifications, and the pieces of paper will continue. But you've probably already realized that it's not really about the pieces of paper. It's about the processes, it's about the competencies, relationships, character, and passions that you develop along the journey. And on that journey, life will offer some twists and turns. How else would a young English lad end up teaching for the last 19 years at Holland Hall? I am this close to my 20-year lampshade. Those twists and turns will bring victories and losses along the way. The victories that you will achieve will bring you a sense of accomplishment. The losses will bring you pain and sadness, but your character and relationships with each other will carry you through. The important thing is to frame the difficult times in terms of what lesson you are learning. As the author Wayne Dyer puts it, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if the difficult times bring you pain, then that pain has meaning and can be transformative in a positive way if channeled correctly. And the last few years have definitely qualified as a difficult time. About a year ago, my chemistry class, made up of many of you, gave me this periodic table of the elements model. I know. It has a sample of each element enclosed in glass, but don't worry, they didn't include the radioactive ones. You all seem to know that I was having a tough time, and this beautiful and thoughtful gift made me feel appreciated. And that feeling of being appreciated helped me focus my aggravation on the plexiglass and seating charts and lunch duty to remembering how lucky we were to be able to be in school together in person. This gift changed the way I was looking at the current situation and reminded me that the situation was one I should be thankful for rather than resentful of. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And if you think about it, each of you is like an element on the periodic table. You are unique with your own behaviors and character, but while you each shine individually, it is when you work together that you really bring your class to life and our community thrives. Like ions and atoms, sometimes you give, sometimes you receive, and other times you share. But most of all, you have worked together to bring value to others. Your class has made remarkable contributions to the school. You have expanded the student council, won state championships, performed on this stage, produced paintings and sculptures, run morning meetings, written impossibly long essays, taken challenging AP exams. You have established environments of inclusion and pushed us to have tough conversations. You have differences in who you are, but you celebrate each other's gifts, personalities, and talents. You are servant leaders who have paid attention to leaving a legacy here by fostering culture and mentoring the next class of seniors. Whether striving in the classroom, leading your teams, creating art, or running student government, you are not content to just reach the goal. You look for ways to exceed expectations at every turn. Despite challenging academic schedules, you have an ability to keep the plate spinning and handle the pressure to move forward while acting in a manner that demonstrates your values. We have been impressed with your leadership and resilience during this unprecedented time. Your experience in high school has been far from the norm, but that has not slowed you down. Throughout the difficulties of the pandemic, you have remained positive, flexible, and most of all, been inclusive and cared for each other.
The foundlings are the future. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Am I right? We have seen you as a class reframe the context of the pandemic and take the lead in bringing us back together as a community. You have changed the way we've looked at things, and the things we are looking at have changed. And this reframing is a critical life skill. Now, you all know I'm into computer science, and I was recently listening to a podcast called Algorithms at Work. This episode focused on a programmer who'd been part of creating Google Earth. He described how early in his career he thought only the limit to the pace of innovation was the time it took programmers to develop the code. But in practice, even though the programmers were creating tons of code, the project wasn't coming together like it should. It turned out that when the programmers tried to merge their respective components, the different pieces of code wouldn't work together and clash as things became more complex. As a result, the programmers discovered that communicating with each other before and during the process was the most important part of creating a working system. And the lack of communication was what turned out to be the limiting factor.
Sir, I am fluent in 6 million forms of communication.
Restructuring their communications processes allowed them to be successful, but it required the ability to step back and look at the problem in a different way. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This changing of perspective can also help you keep going even when you'd rather give up, another necessary life skill. Most of you know that I've been rowing since I was a wee nipper back at Kingston Grammar School. The summer before my senior year, I was selected for a development camp composed of the top high school rowers in the nation. The coaches of the camp were tasked with choosing the best athletes for the Great Britain Junior National Rowing Team. We were rowing in four-person boats over a distance of 1,000 to 1,500 meters. Our coaches kept racing us and switching people between the crews to find the fastest combinations. It was the third day of trials, and I was exhausted and ready to quit. I called my father, and I told him that I was mentally and physically exhausted. He said something to me that has stayed with me since then, and I will share it with you now. In his earlier years, my father was active in the hiking and mountain climbing community. He told me that it is essential to acknowledge and appreciate how far you've come once you get near the peak of the mountain. He explained that you are usually feeling the most exhausted when you're close to the peak and close to meeting your goal. Recognizing the distance you have traveled and acknowledging your progress could give you the strength to push through and get to the summit. These words were just what I needed to hear at that particular point in time. They helped me reframe the next day's seat races as just the final step in the journey that had started years before. And acknowledging all the work I had done up to that point made the effort to complete one more day of seat racing seem relatively small. The next day, after several pieces, I was switched with Fred Scarlett, a fine chap, who later on in his career rowed in the Great Britain Olympic 8 that won a gold medal at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. We raced down the course. Because that's what rowing boats sound like, folks. And thanks to my new perspective and improved attitude, I fought all the way down. It was close, but I ended up winning the seat race by a slight margin of 0.9 seconds. In seat racing terms, anything less than 2 seconds is considered inconclusive. But that day, I was chosen over Fred Scarlett for the final spot on the Great Britain Junior National Team. Because my dad had changed the way I was looking at the situation, my feelings about the situation had changed. Just when I felt exhausted and ready to give up, the wise words from my father taught me that I can find more strength if I acknowledge how far I've come. I know you all will face similar challenges as you embark on your journey in the world. Try to remember that you learn the most from the challenges and obstacles you face, but that you often have to look for a new perspective to find the lesson within the struggle. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So here we are. My question to you is, what do you have in common with the cylinders in the chemistry lab? You're both graduated. Okay, one more. What did the buffalo say to his kid as he headed off to college? Bye, son, see? What a class! It has been my distinct privilege and honor to serve as your faculty graduation speaker this evening. Congratulations, class of 2022. You are a remarkable group of people and have truly embraced the charge to be the one during Holland Hall's centennial year. You are set to fly, and like all things that we love, we must let go so you can find your own way. This is your time, and our loss is another's gain. It's time to fire up the hyperdrive so you can journey further and build a better future. There really only is one thing left to say, and you might have guessed it. May the force be with you, always.
Okay, it's hard to follow that. I'm just going to warn you, there will be no more sound effects, special lighting effects of any kind. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we come now to the awards presentations for commencement for the class of 2022. On behalf of the upper school faculty, it is my pleasure to assist Mr. Cully in the presentation of awards to members of the class of 2022 who have distinguished themselves both inside and outside the classroom. I would first like to call your attention to the back of your program, where you will see listed the names of several members of the class of 2022 who were honored with departmental book awards at our upper school awards assembly in May. The awards presented this evening are not given by individual departments, but rather by large groups of faculty members, and for some awards, by the entire faculty. These awards will be presented in the areas of athletics, the fine arts, academics, and citizenship. In addition to the awards presented on stage, each student recognized this evening will receive a copy of the citation that I read tonight. We will begin with the presentation of special faculty awards. It has been a tradition since 1984 in the upper school for the faculty to identify graduating seniors whom we believe are deserving of special faculty awards. These awards are presented to members of the senior class who have distinguished themselves in some area of school or community life. The faculty is not limited by a particular number of awards and is free to define what criteria are deserving of recognition. From this outstanding class of 2022, the faculty has chosen 5 students to receive a special faculty award. And here they are in no particular order. This student is quiet and reserved leader. Never seeking the limelight, he is humble in his work and service to others. In the classroom, he is determined to understand and not afraid to ask a tough question. He is deeply committed to this school and is encouraging of all who surround him. He has been contributing to the life of the upper school since he was a freshman. Who hasn't noticed the way he walks? He zooms through the hallway with quick steps and gaze down, but not too fast that he doesn't always say hello. He is focused on the task at hand and the next one that follows and the next one after that. He is not distracted by things that don't matter. He is a role model in the classroom and on the field. This student has deep integrity and purpose in life and has been a quiet force in making our school lives richer. For his humble servant leadership, the faculty is pleased to present a special faculty award to Hunt Hildebrand. This student's character positively impacts those around them through his dedication, consistency, and clarity about his purpose. In his own way, he takes care of people. We regularly see him in the Commons as he arrives early every day, checking in students for morning meeting without being asked, or helps to sort out the lost and found table. When his classmates had rearranged classrooms as part of their senior prank, he was one of the first to rally the troops to put the classrooms back together to honor his teachers. He helps because he is concerned about his community and likes to see things run smoothly. It's how he shows he cares. This student can laugh and joke with his friends, but he also exhibits and is guided by an inner sense of purpose. He knows how to stand on his own 2 feet. He knows how to stand up for what he believes in. For his behind-the-scenes citizenship and strong moral compass, the faculty is pleased to present a special faculty award to Kendon Frideric. This student is leaving an indelible mark on Holland Hall and epitomizes what it is to be a servant leader. In the classroom, the student conducts themselves with quiet integrity. In the community, this person's optimism, compassion, and drive has left fingerprints on every facet of student life. This leader has helped the student body to come together in new ways and has worked hard to ensure that all voices are heard. Her forward thinking and ability to see the big picture have made this young lady masterful at coordinating student efforts to pull off big events, from the Welcome Back theme to decorations, to pep assemblies, to the institution of a new Kindness Week. She is always willing to show up early and stay late to make sure things are prepared for whatever project she is working on. She exudes a positive energy in everything she does and has helped show others what it is to lead and serve. Because of her passion to serve, her heart for this community, and the impact she has had on Holland Hall, it is the faculty's honor to present a special faculty award to Gina Parducci. On the athletic field, in the Walter Arts Center, and in the classroom, this student gives us his all. He commits fully not only to the task at hand, but also to the people around him. A true leader by example, this student pours countless hours and energy into becoming the best he can be for the greater good of the team and community. Whether he is diligently watching film, testing out new ideas for a jazz solo, or running lines for a scene, his level of preparation is unmatched. When he is not on the field or on stage, you will find him cheering on and supporting his peers at any number of school athletic events or performances. Throughout the grind of school, he embodies a spirit of joy that lifts everyone up and fosters pure excitement and energy. As an exemplary student, saxophonist, and athlete, he inspires his peers to rise to the occasion and perform to the best of their abilities. For his steadfast dedication to the school, passionate support of his classmates, and indescribable joy, the faculty is pleased to present a special faculty award to Holt Hildebrand. And finally, if you're looking for someone who walks to the beat of a different drummer, then this student fits the bill. Several teachers commented on the way this student boldly provides a unique perspective in group settings, whether in discussions about equity and inclusion or about Francophone culture in language class. His teachers all, in some form, repeat the same refrain. This student's willingness to be their authentic self is an example to which others should aspire. And in being their authentic self, this student inspires others to speak up and discover their own truths. At the same time, this student is an outstanding listener who supports the ideas of others and helps synthesize and implement those ideas. It is for their service to others and their willingness to remain authentic when it's easy and when it's challenging that the faculty is proud to present a special faculty award to Gunnar Angst. And now on to the awards that are presented at every commencement ceremony. First, in athletics, the Charles H. Brown Award and the Margaret W. Kaboth Award. The recipients of these awards are selected by the members of the Holland Hall coaching staff. The citation for each award is the same and reads as follows: presented to the boy and girl athlete who, through leadership, good sportsmanship, and strong endeavor, have best represented Holland Hall in interscholastic athletics. First, the Charles H. Brown Award. For 43 years, this award was named the Dutchman Trophy. This is the 8th time that we will honor our male athlete with the award under its new name, the Charles H. Brown Award. In fact, this year, among a class of amazing athletes, we will be giving 2 Charles H. Brown Awards. First, an unselfish concern for the welfare of others. This athlete embodies the spirit, that definition in every aspect of their engagement with the athletic program and school community. At his core is an insatiable work ethic that is enveloped in a humble confidence. He is willing to pick up trash on the bus, clean tables after a team event, and help freshman teammates no matter what their circumstances. He takes every practice rep full speed. He attempted to play through a broken ankle and run through a strained hamstring because he loves the essence of sport and he loves the people with whom he plays. Simply put, he is determined to be his best in the hope that others are also better for it, and we all are. For his relentless dedication to living the mission of Holland Hall, the Holland Hall coaches are honored to present the 2022 Charles H. Brown Award to Zane Woodham. And now for the second Charles H. Brown Award. The varsity athlete who, through leadership, good sportsmanship, and strong endeavor, and perseverance, has best represented Holland Hall. This evening, we would like to honor a young man who truly epitomizes this description. There is no doubt that he has always done his best to represent Holland Hall, and has always carried himself in a manner that demonstrates care and thoughtfulness when wearing the Holland Hall logo. It really means something to him, and it always has, since he was a young boy running around on the sidelines at every athletic event. He is what coaches call a grinder. This is an athlete who demonstrates leadership by putting in the work when no one is watching, and by preparing the same, whether he is a starter, first player off the bench, or needing to fill a specific role. He has earned 11 varsity letters, helping his teammates achieve state championships and success in football, basketball, and track. It is truly fitting that he was part of a magical moment, I hope many of you remember, in Holland Hall history, nabbing an improbable one-handed catch in the back of the end zone to increase the Dutch lead in the championship game en route to back-to-back state titles. Simply put, he is unselfish and a good person. The Holland Hall coaches are honored to present the 2022 Charles H. Brown Award to Hunt Hildebrand. And now for the Margaret W. Kaboth Award. If you attempted to narrow down the description of this athlete into just one word, your task would be impossible. This athlete possesses all the characteristics of a team leader by example and by spirit. Her pure athleticism, dynamic personality on and off the field, natural talent, and work ethic make her a force to be reckoned with. Starting upon her arrival to Holland Hall in the 8th grade. She picked up field hockey and almost seamlessly and became a varsity starter in her first season. She provided the defensive foundation of a soccer program that has grown annually since her arrival, winning state this year. From being the hardest working player on the field to being the most selfless, all while pumping up her teammates with her undying spirit and timely humor, this athlete simply made her teams better with her presence. Whether sidelined with an injury or relentlessly defending her goal in soccer and field hockey, her honor, loyalty, and never-ending sportsmanship are shining examples of what we hope current and future Dutch athletes will emulate. This year, the Holland Hall coaching staff is proud to present the 2022 Margaret W. Kaboth Award to Annabelle White. The highest award given in the fine arts is the Walter Commendation for Excellence in the Arts. The Walter Commendation for Excellence in the Arts recognizes a graduating senior who has excelled in the visual and/or performing arts. It is the art department's highest award. The recipient has gone beyond beginning level courses and has responded creatively within multiple art disciplines. Additionally, this individual's character serves as a standard for conduct within the Holland Hall programs. This year's recipient for the Walter Art Commendation is a poised and refined artist, a student dedicated to the performing arts who has led numerous ensembles with grace and humility. This student has been a consummate part of the choir program, standing out as a vocalist who goes above and beyond. She has a beautiful voice that helps lead other students. Her work ethic and dedication to music is evident. She has participated in the ACDA regional and national honors choirs, as well as performing at prominent choral venues around the nation. She brings her love of singing to concert choirs, singers, and Holland Harmony, where she enthusiastically participates with elegant music. This student has also graced the stage with her movement, a loyal member of the dance program since 7th grade. This artist not only technically proficient, but a commanding performer and skillful choreographer. She creates pieces with artistry and purpose. When performing, her presence is undeniable. She is a leader both on and off the stage, quietly influencing those around her with her positive demeanor and exceptional character. The Arts Department is extremely proud to present this year's Walter Arts Commendation for Excellence in the Arts to Michaela Atkinson. The highest academic award given by the school is the Valedictorian Award. The senior who graduates with the highest academic average for the upper school years is named Class Valedictorian. When this student transitioned from 8th to 9th grade, I vividly remember sitting right there in the Branch Theater listening to his speech about the long voyage across the parking lot to the upper school through imagery, humor, intellect. And by the end of the speech, I was thinking, how are we going to keep this kid challenged for another 4 years? He's already speaking and thinking like a college student. This student has taken 7 classes every semester of high school. And during his senior year, he's taken supplemental math classes off campus because we ran out of curriculum for him. Looking at his transcript is a bit overwhelming, with only 2 A's beckoning like fluorescent lights in a sea of A+. Yes, this research does confirm the theory that Ms. Holmes is indeed a GPA crusher, given the A in AP/BC calculus. How could you, Mrs. Holmes? Speaking of crushing it, this student is ending his high school career with a 4.430 GPA. That is the second highest in school history by 0.005 of a point, Marta Almazavite. And he's ending it with a trip to the White House as a presidential scholar. No big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the valedictorian for the class of 2022, Ike Walker. The final two awards presented today are the highest awards given by the upper school faculty each year. In addition to the presentations on stage, these students will each receive a Holland Hall chair engraved with their name and their year of graduation. The Alec M. Hill Award. The Alec M. Hill Award is sponsored by the class of 1977. Alec Hill's family has provided the funding for this award in memory of their son. The citation reads as follows. This award recognizes that senior who has demonstrated Alec's qualities, a well-rounded high school performance, ability and interest in all areas of study, as well as participating in athletics, the fine arts, and organizations serving the Holland Hall community. Alec Hill Award recipients, historically, are fierce, passionate young people. They have to be. Excelling in so many different spheres is no life for the lazy or the faint-hearted. Certainly anyone who knew them well would describe this year's recipient with those same adjectives, but why stop there? We would say, too, they sparkle on the stage. 2, they flex on the court. 2, their intellect dazzles in the classroom, perchance. While leading on freshman O, they even lay waste to their patrol's enemies. Just ask Mr. Parker. Even when asking for spring break reading recommendations or indulging in the rare mortal luxury of a bear hug, their eyes flash with barely restrained intensity. Indeed, as the late writer Ursula Le Guin, herself similarly ferocious, said in her memoir, they have no time to spare. They think ever about what matters. Though they have no time to think of such frivolities, most of all they inspire. Certainly, they have inspired many faculty, coaches, and directors, and we are better for it. So for her fierce excellence in all areas of academic, athletic, artistic, and even atmospheric life, the upper school faculty is honored to present the 2022 Alec M. Hill Award to Claire Paris. The final faculty award of the evening is the Pat Morris Award. Pat Morris was the assistant to the headmaster and registrar at Holland Hall for 21 years, serving 4 headmasters. Pat Morris died in 1994, and her husband, Jack, has provided the memorial funding for this award. The citation reads, "This award is presented by the faculty to that graduating senior who most nearly approaches the school ideal of honor, loyalty, and courtesy, and who, while a student at Holland Hall, has done the most to enhance the life of the school." According to the faculty, this student is respectful but can still let loose, brings levity but with character and integrity, is headstrong academically but just as headstrong about being courteous and honorable. While this praise seems paradoxical, this student knows how to create the kind of fun that runs right up to the school rule line without crossing it. And this is because the student respects the community and models positivity in all his endeavors. Regardless of how busy he is, and he is very busy, he is always present in the moment as an active participant. One faculty member noted, "He is one of the strongest leaders I have seen at his age. And I believe it is because of the way he treats others. Everyone is worthy of his time, and he will stop and have a conversation with any person, no matter what, and that person will leave the conversation feeling heard and valued. Whether making a What's Up Wednesday video or gathering water bottles, immersing himself in a character on stage, running an honor council, he creates opportunities for himself and others to be their best selves. It is for his exemplary commitment to honor, loyalty, and courtesy, the foundations for good citizenship, that the upper school faculty is honored to present the 2022 Pat Morris Award to Ike Walker." And now, ladies and gentlemen, the speeches and awards are over. On to the primary reason we are here this evening. On behalf of the upper school faculty, it is my pleasure to present the members of the class of 2022. Each one of these students has successfully completed all graduation requirements, including the internship, some of whom finished yesterday, set forth by the faculty, and they qualify to receive the Holland Hall diploma. The diplomas will be presented by Mr. J.W. Kraft, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Mr. J.P. Cully, the head of Holland Hall Schools. Leo Tanaka Abafadl. Adam Amer. Morgan Wesley Arnold. Anthony Arredondo Moran. Michaela Kiera Atkinson. Gavin Thomas Bacher. Ashton Bagwell. Annika Gail Nielsen Bartlett. Phoebe Jane Beckwith. Owen Anderson Brown. Taiwan Vaishon Campbell. Tala Mita Singh Kansio. Macy Lee Carroll. Milford June Carter III. Lily Raylan Cullum. Paula Alejandra Contreras. Bridget Carrington Dieterlin. Erin Rachel Dolan. Milan Elise Fields. Kindon Magi Ferdu. Emily Grace Gardenhire. Kennedy Kate Gilbert. Caroline Ava Greer. Hannah Ha. Brianna Renee Haith. Holton Thomas Hildebrand. Hunter James Hildebrand. Joshua Adam Holt. Noah Lane Hutchins. Hayden Quinn Inman. Abby Nicole Johnson. Nicholas Wayne Jones. David Arakel Caribbean. Chandler J. Kent Ferraro. Benjamin Andrew Knobloch. Cooper Dodd Knutson. Frida Sarah Laux. Malia Jade Lee. Magnus Bullinger Lepak. Emma Lavon Lewis. Drew Underwood Mabry. Leslie Catherine McCune. Anna Elizabeth Malega. Alice Elizabeth Milton. Bailey Grace Moore. Jordan Dexter Nolan. Daniel Robert Nozick. Leah Yasmin Nozick. Ava Nicole O'Hara. Josephine Alessandra Ogle. Gunnar Jace Angst. Maya Elise Parchuri. Gina Alice Parducci. Claire Alexis Paris. Ashton Palmer Pohl. Arjun Vinay Raju. Kendall Elizabeth Riley. Ethan Davis Roush. Tanner Matthew Saint. Nathaniel Poston Sanders. Talal Shakil. Robert Luke Sharp. Thomas Andrew Sharp. Tierney Lindy Shaw. Josephine Emma Julia Shingleton. Rohan Govinesh Shrestha. Harper Jane Siemens. Ben Matthew Stewart. Drake Allen Stoller. Justice Elijah Thompson. Connor Robert Tollefson. Mahmet Efe Tomak. Addison Jane Bailey Tennell. Braxton Thomas Utter. Cameron Alexander Walker. Isaac Joseph Walker. Guan Yu Wang. Annabelle Sue White. Zane Thomas Woodham. Reese Avery Woosley. Jacob Daniel Rona. Hunter Winston Zahn. Kennedy Page Zahn. Taylor Diane Zahn. Yi Ching Zhang. Jetsi Zhou. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates of the Holland Hall class of 2022. Finally, this evening, it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Claire Paris and Mr. Hunt Hildebrand, the presidents of the class of 2022, who have a special presentation on behalf of their classmates.
Hello, I'm Hunt,
And I'm Claire.
and we stand here representing the class of 2022 as senior class presidents.
When asked to choose a gift for the school, we did a lot of reflecting over these past 4 years, and especially this past year.
We had many obstacles thrown at us, quite literally. The first week we were back, our floors, only in the senior corner, were falling apart. Our senior sunrise happened without the sun, and just Monday, our senior sunset occurred without the sun as well.
We've had an irregular 4 years in the upper school, but the one place where we realized our class really made a difference was in the commons. We lost the ability to have morning meetings last year, so it was our job to bring back all the fun and the community that we had missed.
So, our first day of school truly mimicked a disco party, where everyone was dancing and playing games, and all the seniors were dressed up in their best disco attire. We continued this atmosphere in the commons by bringing back some of our past traditions and then added some new traditions as well. Some of the highlights from morning meeting this year were testing the freshmen on their knowledge of their summer reading book, and then we had a little battle between the two senior class presidents.
Still not bitter about that. We did add a new tradition, honoring 2 students from each grade and a teacher from each month for their impact on the community. Then, as we moved along in the year, we had our classic What's Up Wednesday, make a comeback thanks to Ike, and then Teacher Appreciation Week rolled around, and we were all in awe of Mr. Shin's fabulous dance moves as he busted down to level up.
We had the annual teacher Oscar ceremony, which was equipped with a red carpet and themed music, where we got to honor our teachers. Then, in our final morning meeting, we had to end the year with hog calling, and Miss Kelly took over for the faculty as she was able to continue the tradition of the faculty walking away with the win.
Our grade really stepped into our roles this year and acted as if it were our job to create a fun and lighthearted atmosphere in the commons that was a change of pace from our classes. So, to commemorate our year and our class, We are taking advantage of our floors literally falling apart, and we are using this opportunity to gift a Class of 2022 seal in the Commons to represent and help everyone hopefully remember the long-lasting impact that the Class of 2022 has made on the community and especially in the Commons.
Thank you, and go Dutch.
Thank you, Claire and Hunt. After the benediction, those having family portraits, please head directly to get those done so that the class can board the buses around 8:30 p.m. to go to their dinner dance. Many thanks for all of your support and understanding as we've made our way to this special day, even in the challenges of the post-COVID/COVID world. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the benediction.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, be present with us, and especially with these graduates whom we honor tonight. Nurture and protect them as they leave this school and continue their journey of life. As they seek enlightenment through greater knowledge, help them to remember that you are the source of all wisdom. As they seek their path through this world, and are tempted by many distractions, guide them with your loving hand. As they seek happiness, remind them that true fulfillment is found in serving others. As they seek success, fill them with gratitude for the many gifts they have been given by their families, friends, and teachers. And may your grace be upon them and upon this all, this day and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you.